Yes, of course, we're an airline. And we've made our reputation flying millions of people around the world for decades, in style and comfort, efficiently and effectively. But for those same decades, we've been introducing people, travelers, to some of the great destinations within our reach. For we're more than just tickets and planes moving people. We're a highly effective travel organization, geared to putting together trips that will bring our customers back for more. And it's those customers, those satisfied clients, who can best express the kind of job we do. Hear for yourself what our clients think of our tours.
First of all, I've had a good opportunity to do a lot of traveling around the world, and this Finnair tour is probably one of the best organized as far as the people, the guides, the sights that we saw, everything. The itinerary was perfect.
While we fly to North America, the Orient, and of course all over Europe, we do have our specialties, including our fine trips to the USSR.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Intourist, I would like to welcome you to the USSR, and I hope your stay in this country will be pleasant and memorable.
The Soviet Union is a mystery, and approaching it the first time, Finnair takes you there on time and keeps you moving. I'd say the hotels that the Intourist people provided us were always the best available. Our guide was always discreet and handled things as if there was no effort. The bus driver was superb. He handled an enormous bus in streets not meant to be driven on at all.
Take the Kremlin in Red Square, for example, all those ornate churches and massive buildings. It's overwhelming. Everybody goes there, not just tourists.
Although I've done quite a bit of reading, my impressions from pictures that I've seen of it have been of very forbidding, dark, gloomy brick walls, and I felt that the Kremlin was very bright and airy. The colors very cheerful, lots of trees, and not at all forbidding.
They change the guard at Lenin's tomb every hour on the hour, all day and all night, too. It's really dramatic.
It's like standing in the center of the whole country. You just stand there and you look around, and hundreds of years and cultures bombard you. The churches, all that gold, it's pretty impressive.
We went off on our own a lot. It's pretty easy. The metro is very good. And the subway, you can always point to things and people will show you in the right direction. People were really friendly, especially with the little children. We're always very curious and coming up to see what we dressed like and what we were carrying around.
And I have a different feeling about the Russian people. They seem very human to me in a particular kind of way. It's been a rich trip and a rich experience, and I think it's important. I think it will take a long time for me to understand it, and I'm glad that I came.
Даже шорохи, все здесь замерло до утра. Если б знали, как мне дороги подмосковные вечера.
The interesting thing about Novgorod that one would never imagine if you hadn't been was the terrific feat of reconstruction that the Russians have done on this small town that was almost devastated. One would never know it unless one was told, and it's well worth a short visit.
I enjoyed Novgorod maybe more than I expected because the two cities of Moscow and Leningrad are so huge that Novgorod's a rather interesting contrast, being a much smaller Russian town but having all the antiquities that the big cities have, in fact, if anything, more concentrated.
In Novgorod, it made me very sad when I realized all the devastation they had and how they have built, and I just think that people like that are to be congratulated, that rebuild from nothing. And the churches, I thought, were beautiful and very elaborate, some of them. And I like Novgorod very much.
My general impression of the trip is that it is an enormous education, almost entirely too much to take in. And that a phenomenon might be that the trip keeps going long after it's over in your imagination. And it is unforgettable. This particular tour is a very good way to see Russia because there's something safe about being with Finns.
I'd never been on a tour before. We've always taken our own trips. But I thought, for the most part, we got along really well, and they were from all parts of the country and of ages, and it just sort of led a really neat atmosphere of all kinds of voices and feelings.
I was very impressed with Leningrad, just a beautiful city. So well kept, immaculate, beautiful parks and buildings.
Everyone should visit this beautiful fairy tale city. It was unusually beautiful to me because of the antique churches and the icons. It's lovely in every respect, and every minute was enjoyable.
I think it's quite breathtaking when you step in and see all this gold and the paintings. And what amazes me most is that everything is open. You know, people apparently are not afraid that anybody is going to do damage to it. So it is beautiful.
We found the in-tourist guides very, very good. They were well informed, and they knew their past and their history, and they handled any difficult questions with great sensitivity.
I haven't been on any other package tour that's been better organized, nor a tour with more helpful guides.
I was deeply impressed with all the buildings that we saw, particularly yesterday. I thought that the Catherine the Great Palace was just simply something I've never seen in my life or ever expect to see, anything as spectacular as that. That was very, very beautiful.
What was another thing that was interesting on the trip down with our tour guides furnishing information regarding the war, the damage that occurred to the different cities, where the battle lines were, the various war monuments. That made quite an impression on me.
We've learned a lot. When we go home and think about it for a while, we realize that we have picked up a lot of knowledge.
The acrobatics and the dancing, and that was really spectacular.
Oh, they were gorgeous. I never have seen anything so fantastic. They ought to go to Hollywood or be on TV.
when I first walked in, it was just breathtakingly beautiful. Everything is so fresh, like it was just done yesterday.
It looks to me like it was designed by a poor person who suddenly came into unlimited money. It just, the ornateness of it is sort of the poor person's idea, I think, of what would be beautiful.
I wanted to go on this trip because it was a bus trip, and I wanted to see the countryside and see how the people lived. But I guess I was really surprised at the contrast between the cities and the country. The cities are so large, and there's so many people, and the countryside is just that, just homes and a few people, and a lot of it is very, very difficult living.
You've heard our satisfied clients, and let me stress, those are real tourists, Finnair customers talking on a recent Finnair trip to the USSR. But if we know the USSR well, there's one place we know even better. Our hometown and gateway for all Finnair trips, Helsinki, Finland. It too is a tourist's delight.
Nice that it's on the edge of the water, with an interesting little market, which we all like. I feel about Helsinki that I might have seen most of the whole of the Finnish population there. All very happy, in particular the young adults. Their liveliness, full of life, I should say.
Take our beautiful town square with our glorious cathedral. And everywhere, you'll find the kinds of buildings and monuments you'd expect of a capital city. Like our parliament. And nearby, right on the water's edge, there's the beautiful white marble Finlandia Hall, a concert and congress center, the work of one of the century's most renowned architects, Alvar Aalto. And all around the city, you'll find beautiful parks and monuments, like the monument to Jan Sibelius, one of the country's most famous and favorite composers. Standing here, you can almost feel his music wash over you. Then there's our church that's carved right into the bedrock granite. Here, surrounded by rock with a beautiful copper ceiling vaulting over you, you get a sense of the power this rugged land exerts on its people.
When I came back to Helsinki from Russia, it looked like paradise. No longer did it seem like another country at all. It seemed like my country, home.
Via Finnair.